Former Miami Nez admits threatening to kill VP Harris. Faces up to 5 years in prison. A former nurse at Jackson Memorial Hospital has pleaded guilty in Miami federal court to threatening to kill Vice President Kamala Harris, perhaps sealing her own fate because she recorded the threats in a series of videos she sent to her husband in prison. Nivienne Petit Phelps, a 39-year-old mother of three who had lived in Miami Gardens, admitted in a factual statement that she practiced at a gun range and applied for a concealed weapons permit. Phelps, who was arrested last April and detained because she was considered a danger to the community, faces up to 5 years in prison at her sentencing on November 19 before U.S. District Judge Jose Martinez. According to a Secret Service complaint, 5 videos show that Phelps expressed rage over the victory of President Joe Biden and Harris in last November's general election. But her motivation to threaten the vice president wasn't just political. Phelps, who is black, also threatened to kill Harris in the videos because she believed the vice president isn't actually black. Wow, can you imagine that? Threatening to kill somebody because they're not actually black. According to the complaint by a Secret Service agent who spoke with her before her arrest, Harris, the first woman to hold the second highest office in the U.S., is black of South Asian and Jamaican descent. Charged in a 6-count indictment, Phelps got caught because she sent the series of threatening videos along with 2 photographs to her husband Joseph, who is locked up in a state prison after being convicted of a 1996 armed robbery and murder of a grocery store owner. Wow, so here's a nurse who was making threats, married to a man, I don't know if she married him before or after, who was locked up in state prison for robbery and murder of a grocery store. And this is Florida. He's lucky he's not executed because Florida has the death penalty. I'm surprised he's still alive, especially in murdering a grocery store owner. Right? So as they say, birds of a feather flock together. Phelps' defense attorney Scott Saul says she has led an honorable life until this incident. Yeah, right. Marrying that man or being married to that man who killed somebody, somebody who is trying to make a living, you know, a grocery store owner. How honorable is that? She should have divorced him. Saul said Phelps would not have carried out any of her threats to the life of the vice president. How do we know that? He said she was just venting as she was going through a tumultuous time in her life and never had any intent to carry out her threats. Threats limited to discussions with her incarcerated husband. Gee, that's kind of crazy. That you would send something like that kind of discussion to kill the vice president and send that to a prison. Years ago, back in the, let's see, yeah, late 90s, I worked in prison in the clinical section. And just to go into that building, you know, you have to, back in those days, I don't know if they still do it now, because cell phones were not that popular. You had to surrender your cell phone. Yeah, I couldn't even take my cell phone in. I would have my cell phone, and I had to hand it over. to the prison guards. You had to go through metal detector. You had to go through a lot of stuff just to get in there. And anything that comes in, like letters or whatever, they're gonna look at it. So how stupid can you be to be sending these videos or what have you to a husband who's locked up? Come on, that's real dumb. So, but her attorney also said it has been important for Ms. Phelps to demonstrate her acceptance of responsibility as she begins to atone for her aberrant actions. Phelps lost her job as a longtime nurse. Yeah, no surprise there. At Jackson Health System after the charges were filed by federal prosecutors Abby Waxman and Michael Guilford. Jackson Health System, where Phelps had been employed for the last 20 years, says she worked most recently as a licensed practical nurse in the Ambulatory Care Center West at Jackson Memorial Medical. So here's a woman who's been working in the same place for 20 years, and she engaged in this kind of unscrupulous behavior. you know. According to the Secret Service criminal complaint, Phelps expressed her contempt for the vice president in the 5 videos and 2 photos that she made in February. In a February 13th video, Phelps was recorded saying, "Kamala Harris, you're gonna die. Your days are numbered," the complaint said. In another video, dated February 14th, Phelps continued to threaten the vice president. "If I see you in the street, I'm gonna kill your ass, Kamala Harris," the complaint said. In another video that day, Phelps said, "I'm gonna go into the gun range just for your ass until you effing leave the chair." She vowed to carry out the threat in 50 days and apply for a concealed weapons permit, according to the complaint. Now, how crazy is that? You're applying for a concealed weapons permit, right? While at the same time, you threatening to kill the Vice President of the United States of America. There's a disconnect there somewhere. Come on. One of the 2 photos sent to her husband in prison depicts Phelps smiling as she holds a pistol next to a target containing bullet holes, according to the complaint. The second photograph shows Phelps' teenage son holding a pistol on a target. In early March, 2 Secret Service agents, along with Miami-Dade police detectives, visited Phelps' home in Miami Gardens to interview her. She was read her Miranda rights, but she refused to talk. I don't quite understand that sentence there. Usually, when you read your Miranda rights, it says you have the right to remain silent. If you can't afford an attorney, one will be provided for you. So yeah, once you read your right, then you shouldn't be talking unless you're stupid. A couple days later, Phelps called one of the Secret Service agents and told him that she had been put on administrative leave at her job with Jackson Health System. She said she wanted to talk. Wow, how stupid, right? So she'd been read her Miranda rights. She didn't say anything. Now she wants to talk because she's on administrative leave. She has 3 kids she got to take care of. Her husband is in prison for murder and robbery of a grocer. So you would think you need a job, right? You would think you have better things in life. When you have 3 kids to see about, I guess maybe rent to pay or mortgage to pay, who knows, you know. those are priority. Not not trying to shoot the vice president because she's in black or what have you. While it's on record, her father is black. you know, her father was a student from Jamaica who studied, I believe, at the University of California at Berkeley, I believe. Yeah. So on March 6th, Secret Service agent Lucas White said he spoke with Phelps at her home about the videos and photos she had sent to her husband in prison. Phelps started by saying that she was angry at the time about Kamala Harris becoming vice president, but that she's over it now, according to the complaint. Phelps expressed how she believes Kamala Harris is not actually black. Gee, so you angry at somebody because they said they're black? My God, you know? And how during the presidential inauguration, Kamala Harris disrespectfully put her hand on her clutch purse instead of the Bible. Gee, my goodness. I thought her husband was holding the Bible, and she had her hand up. You know? Yeah, that's what I remember. But but Phelps said that now that the presidential election was over, somebody told her that she had to put her rage about the vice president aside. So she had an epiphany. White, the Secret Service agent, then questioned her about making the 5 videos, which were each 30 seconds long, as well as the 2 photos. She told the agent that she went to the gun range to practice because of the unsafe neighborhood in which she lives, the complaint says. Yeah, right. Just about everybody has a gun in Florida, right? Guns all over the place, and the neighborhood is unsafe. Wow. My goodness. When White confronted her about saying in the video that she went to the gun range because of her feelings about Kamala Harris, Phelps replied that she just does not like her. All right, so you're going to be doing time in prison, lady. At least 5 years in prison. Yep, maybe you can get to see your husband while in there. You know how stupid.